Good evening, and you are welcome. It is the Black Table, and yes, your regular host is back in the seat. Thank you very much. I am so glad to be here before the guys ruin the show like they tried to do last week. I know you missed me. Of course, you know my name already. It is Mazino. This is the Black Table. You should use the hashtag as such. Welcome to where every woman comes to find out exactly how men think, and every man comes just to have a good time. I'm not alone as usual. We have very interesting guests here with us. Of course, you all know him. He had a head start on the drinks. He's perhaps already too high to even know his name, but I'll remind you guys. Oluwafemi from, of course, Oluwafemi Carter is here. How you doing, man?
Where every woman comes and where every man comes.
Man,
Like
you're getting the head start on me.
How?
This head start you're getting, don't let gang hear me. But you're welcome,
But you bring that.
I mean, now he's on head start. Don't let gang hear you with the head start.
All right.
Of course, to my right, he's brand new. He's in the show today. We have the intention to make him backslide because his GO is watching. His name is Tayo Adetunji. I
Don't
got
need
that
to
right.
go there.
Oh boy,
You
this
don't-
is an intentional intent for us.
Indeed.
But good to have you here on the show, man. I hope you're ready for this.
I'm very much ready.
Man, I hope you are.
Yeah, let's go.
Good to have you here, man. He's into media. He's your all-round media guy. He knows everything that we forget, just so you know. Alrighty, you all know him. He's the pot-bellied chief, the mayor of Agungi himself. He has no name behind his back today because he's not wearing a jersey. It couldn't fit. He grew fatter in the last 1 week, so he had to fit into a kente. You're welcome, gang.
I take that because of what I said last week.
What
I'll take it.
did he say last week?
Don't worry, go watch the tapes. Go and watch the tapes.
Good to have you guys here.
Good to have you back.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you very much. We have a very interesting show ahead of us today, and we're going to be talking about something very interesting as our major topic. Toward the end of the show, we're asking relationships and the economy currently. How are people faring? We want to know what your take is, so we'll be giving you guys the hashtags to send all your messages in. We want to know exactly what's going on now, relationships and the economics of it currently. But we have a couple of topics from before that. Let's do a very short break, and we'll introduce to you our very juicy topic number one for today. Let's get started already.
You always take the bill on the first date, second date, and third date. Bro code.
Welcome back. It's the Black Table here, of course. Myself, Oluwafemi Carter, Tyre in the house, and Mr. GANG gang. And we have our first topic for today. Guys, are you ready for this one? Let's talk about it. I'm not coming back. I don't know how to tell my wife to move on. A broad-based Nigerian man opens up. The story is long. Let me read it to you guys. Now, this one was found on Twitter, and we thought we were going to discuss this. A lot of men who travel out of the country in search of greener pastures are not returning to Nigeria. I feel pity for their wives who keep waiting endlessly, thinking that the money is being sent by husband for her upkeep and that of the children still signifies commitments to their marriages. This guy of mine, hear the story, has told me that he can never return to Nigeria. He said he doesn't know how to tell his wife to move on with her life, but he would still keep sending monies for her and the children. He said he's aware he won't return, but in future he would make way for his children to meet up with him over there. Finally, he said that if his wife got married and wants to come abroad with his children, he can create a way for her and her new husband, but not now, like maybe 10 or 15 years later. He goes on.
Wow.
Women should be aware that some of these men who travel out of Nigeria are still always being helped there by some other woman, citizen, of course, in those countries. They should try to have genuine discussions with their husbands so that they do not wait in regret or wait into regret, as the person puts it. As for my guy, whom I have also advised for him to help him tell his wife to move on, never. I won't be in the bad radar of no one. He must look for a way to communicate himself. This is a real event. This actually happens. People go outside the country, get married there, you have a wife here, but you get married because you want a green card to stay there. You finally get so comfortable, you're like, this life, is it now? How do I tell this lady back home that I'm not coming back home? That's the problem. I know of people who are going through this right now. These are personal instances I'm talking about. There are people who are there who have said, I'm just sending these monies because she is the mother of my kids. But the truth is, if she wants to move on with another person, may she they go. Personally, I'm okay with this white woman here. I don't know, man. I don't know. You look like you're thinking hard,
Well,
man.
that-
Femi,
It's wickedness now.
is
Like,
it?
It's pure wickedness, yeah. You don't string people along now. Be upfront. Like, okay, you know they walk again, you know they walk. And I don't even understand how, I don't know. I can never understand how people do it. Be honest and just tell her if the wife gonna say might have moved on.
True. I mean, how do you stay in a relationship without coitus
I
for over
think
6 months and you expect
It's
that
a really tough. It's a very tough one for the woman.
for the woman?
Yeah, for the woman.
Ah.
For the guy on the other side, I mean, the Japa syndrome is all over the place at the moment. And for you to just leave someone hanging in Nigeria or wherever,
But I like to think that there were discussions before the person left. See, I'm
people
going
don't-
out, so I'm going to have to get married to get the green card. for
most people
us.
don't communicate.
Man,
Most people
that
don't
is-
communicate. They don't.
I completely agree with you. There is
don't.
something missing. There is something he's hiding. He's been hiding for a very long time.
Long time, yeah.
Only for him to just get to a grain grass for it, and just feel like, okay, it's time for me to just move on with my life. And the only thing I'll be responsible for is just the
But
upkeep.
Tayo, get this. The instances that I am aware of now, this guy and his wife actually had that conversation. They said, okay, when I go, I'll have to get married. And she's like, okay, fine. Go and get married, but don't forget me. So she actually acquiesced. She agreed. She said, okay, fine. She endorsed it. Get married if you want to, but just don't forget us. So in giving your husband that, what's it called, permission to go and get married,
Whole person.
if I get married, what follows marriage? There's got to be coitus and sexual relations now.
I think she's aware of that though.
So if that now happens and the guy now overlikes it and now tells you that, hey,
But man, when people sacrifice for you in life, you have to pay them back though. I can never understand how people turn on people like that. Like, that's deep.
Again, if you have an agreement, if you have an agreement
That's
with your
deep.
husband and it goes away, with another woman, as the case may be, then I think you should be ready to bear whatever comes along with it.
are you talking about the woman now?
Yeah, you should be able
Top
to bear.
gang,
it.
do you
I
agree?
feel so.
Why do you have dark shades on?
My eyes have been drinking. Let's see if they can't tell.
I'm on neutralizing the bullet straight.
Here's the thing. Like, I've been in a similar situation, but mine is different because I didn't leave the country. My family was in the capital city. I was in other towns working, hustling as the man, trying to provide. So, but when international lines are drawn, it's a different situation. Now, the thing is that the level of hustle, this is a guy that's hustling. He's not genuinely out there. He's trying to hustle to get a green card settle, make foreign currency, and be able to provide for his family. So that level of hustle is there.
different,
If you're all jack buying, like for example, one of the reasons why I would say I haven't even bothered jack buying because I had considered the situation whereby somebody goes first and the next person goes along. And we sat down as a family and said, no, we either all go
Why
or
did
we
you,
all stay.
why exactly?
Because we've spent time apart and we've seen how it affects the union.
How did it affect your union?
Well, it's crazy
Which
because
hand got stronger?
here's the thing. When my kids were newborn at the time.
Nice.
No, I'm going to get Zeno back, but my kids were newborn at the time.
Okay.
And then somebody once said, oh, don't let your kids start calling you uncle. They need to see you a whole lot more. So I used to travel every month or every other weekend, so like twice a month or once a month. But for somebody like myself that has the fear of flying, I didn't like that back and forth. Then the cost implication was there as well, spending all this money doing back and forth. But thank God now we're settled and we've been together for years now, all in one place. So in this kind of situation, if the wife endorses, go and hustle and be sending things to me, that's a different scenario. She's basically accepted that this guy is going to do all sorts of
What
stuff.
it need, what
Yeah,
needs
but you
to be
guys,
done.
let's not forget that could have been an economic decision. Like, she might not really have wanted that. It might just have been, okay,
No,
you know
why do
what?
people jack by? It's all economics.
No, so there are times that
Largely.
people say, there are times that people say things like, okay, you know what? Right now, there's no going back, there's no going forward. This is our only option. You know what? You go. If the situations were different, she probably might have not made that decision now. So how do you now turn on? Like, it's terrible. How do you turn on people like that?
Like I like one of the comments that was on the page
Yeah.
on Twitter, and the person said the same thing you said. That's wickedness.
It is.
It's very ill
wickedness.
thought of the guy to actually
It's
decide
wickedness.
that this is what he's going to do. And he's even put in that situation that even if she remarries 10,
Like,
15 years
so
from
that
now,
guy has
15
moved
years,
on,
exactly.
bro.
that guy has moved on. But the fact that he doesn't have the courage
To tell her.
to tell her, because clearly there are children involved.
It's wrong, no, that's wrong.
That's the sad part of the story.
That's where it becomes a bit tricky. If you cannot communicate that with your wife at home, then it's something very, very stupid you're doing.
Personally, I don't
Oh,
even-
well, how do you communicate such a thing? What do you expect her to do? What,
You have those-
No,
well,
let's put ourselves in her cocoa shoes now. What do you expect her to do after she's been told that I've moved on or but I can still keep sending you money.
She'll move on as well, though.
She move on as well.
Yeah,
get another
there's no
husband.
point holding a candle for someone that's not coming back
Absolutely.
now.
I agree with you.
There's no point. Why are you holding a candle for someone
It's
that's
just
not
going to
coming
be
back?
waiting for Godot.
I mean, like, for the rest of our life, every day she's probably thinking, oh, my husband. No, you don't have a husband
Okay,
anymore. Your
this is
husband has moved
Nigeria,
on.
where people get polygamous. Could he have 2 wives and still maintain one
Yep,
abroad, one here?
that guy from that statement is obviously, he doesn't want to have anything to do with that again. He has seen better.
Better, wow.
And I actually feel that we use the word polygamous or polygamy as an excuse to misbehave.
Welcome to the show. Please tell us.
You know, you go outside there and you say, oh, men are polygamous in nature. Who told you that women are not also?
Scientifically proven.
understand?
Bro, we're not going to have this conversation.
No. I want him to go there. He's the new guy. We've had it plenty
proven.
plenty times before.
I know we always have this. Oh, yeah, it has to be this. But hey, women.
How
are
is she
so
putting up in
disciplined.
Nigeria is the question. What's she doing to make sure that
You get-
she's all right?
No, so let's be honest, though. Even, like, I can never understand how families live apart. I can't. Like,
Let me tell you, I once
can't
had a
understand
relationship. I was
it.
living in
I
Texas.
can't
This guy was living
understand
in Solo. It was a long distance
he
relationship.
has the first time to solo.
It was a long distance.
So
I could
imagine,
not,
I
as in-
don't know how people do it. Like, okay, oh, my husband, I've not seen him for 2 years. I'm like, you don't get husband, no. I mean, 2 years, bro.
Man.
I think I pumping something now.
2 years is a long
It's a
time.
long
Like,
time.
How long would you go without? Without
No, but I've told you people
Okay,
before
yeah,
now.
sorry,
I
I'm
know
sorry,
they-
sir.
I
Sorry.
don't know how people
So,
do it.
gang,
Like,
you would go for
ah,
No,
How
let's
long
see. I've told you people that my relationship is not based
on
on
sex.
sex.
my relationship is based on sex, you.
Let's go to the
Ah,
church
there's no
point.
need.
Let's go to church.
Because
There's
God,
no
God
need.
forbid
It's
one
okay,
day,
gang,
Femi,
gang,
God
gang.
forbid one day something happens to you and you can't get it up.
Come on, what can they do for life again? No, so I always say this thing. Like, I don't know why you people say, like, what is the use
You
of your
didn't
money?
come here because of
no,
sex,
No, bro, what's the
guy.
use of your money? That's the ultimate pleasure. What's the use of money? Okay, I fly you to what? Paris with Kim Kardashian, but you can't touch.
And the other people in the party.
Let's ask new guy
No.
here.
Okay.
How long will you
So,
go without coitus?
Well, it depends on the situation, actually. For me, if I have to go for a month without that, why not? Without sex, why not?
After a month.
Just 1 month. Okay.
I mean,
give us a
if-
time limit.
I mean, depending on the situation, if I have to leave my house, you know, for something else
Okay.
for a whole year,
You haven't traveled.
not?
You're living with your wife. You haven't traveled. You're living with your wife. You guys might have had a fight or a misunderstanding. 1 month goes.
How long
you
before
haven't
you
had
step
any
out?
intimacy, and then the second month is approaching. Can you last 2 months without intimacy?
I think so.
So let's keep going. 3 months.
Yeah, I think so.
I
3
can't.
months.
I think so. Yeah.
I can't.
3 months.
It's part. See, it's part of the agreement you have with your partner.
We didn't have that agreement.
If things,
bro,
No, but
if things are not, if things are not, if things are not,
much.
yeah,
here's
well,
the catch. Now, with that agreement said, now you want it,
oh yeah,
but she's not giving it to
okay,
you.
okay.
How
2
long?
months, bro.
How long would you stay
60 days.
applying and not getting the job?
We will have a discussion on that.
Discussion.
And then after you
fire.
discuss, she
have a
still doesn't
discussion
give
on
it to
that.
you.
I know people.
So-
I know people who got married to very beautiful other people, and eventually discovered that my wife does not like sex.
That's why I always say sample with you they buy.
Haba.
Like, because and you don't want to find out that you are married to someone that doesn't like sex. After
Is there even
you
such a
married the
thing, sir, that somebody doesn't like
There
sex?
actually there are people like
I
that.
don't think.
Is there a man like that? I know
no.
maybe women, but
No,
is there
no,
a
I
man
don't
that
think
doesn't like
so.
sex?
No, so there are actually people like that. I realize that we like things to different degrees, yeah?
Yeah.
But if you are going match energies, like you can't be you know, my bing, bing, bro. It doesn't last.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have to
It
move
doesn't
to our next
last.
topic, and our next topic is also quite juicy. All right. Charles from Spire, I think, I don't know. He sends a tweet and he's talking about something that's happening currently. Everybody's into Big Brother now because we have the Big Brother Champions Edition going on. And every relevant person from the past editions has been invited back inside of the house. A picture hit, or rather, there was a video actually, an instance hit social media where Frodd, we've had Frodd on some of our shows here at TVC, was canoodling in bed with a lady in the Big Brother house. And this person wrote this. He says, laugh my ass out. He says, I'm not sure why people are worrying themselves. A married man leaving his heavily pregnant wife, she is pregnant, his wife is, to come to a reality TV show in the height is the height of irresponsibility. But maybe it's just me. What do I know? Frodd was in, who was he in bed with again? Who was he in bed with? I can't remember
Mercy.
what her name
I
is.
think Mercy.
I don't know. I don't watch big.
He was in bed with another lady. His wife actually, congratulations to her, just put to bed. Am I correct?
Yes, today.
Today. So you can imagine how pregnant she was when he was leaving for the new Big Brother house. Now, I don't know how she managed the visuals of seeing her husband, whom she's heavily pregnant for, in bed with somebody else. Some people say they were in bed, some people say it was just an instant, blah, blah, blah. But the proximity was a bit too intimate, if you ask me. If you are under my armpits, then things are going to happen.
I have to jump in here real quick. I have to come in.
Gang, careful now. We don't have enough
No,
tissue paper.
I have to come in here.
We don't have enough
And
tissue paper.
I'm not trying to support Frodd in his escapade.
He's a fraud.
Here's the
Here's
thing. First and foremost, Frodd has not slept with that lady in the house.
Yet.
He has not slept with her.
Yet.
He has not slept with her.
Yet.
So-
Let's
So that's number one. They've been
So
in
what were
bed.
they doing? Reading newspaper?
They've slept together, but they have
And
not had
even
sex.
if you say in bed, they've been in
Here's the
bed.
thing, they've not
Listen
had
to how
sex.
it
Simple
sounds
like this.
like.
They've not had sex. That's
Yeah.
number one.
Okay.
Number two, Frodd has been in the house before. Came out. So his current wife now, that is so-called heavily pregnant, knows him
Oh,
and
no,
his...
she's just delivered.
Listen, he had just delivered. She knows his escapades from Big Brother before. She has chosen to be with him.
She knows what to expect.
Do you understand? She knows what to expect if she's a Big Brother Nigeria fan. She knows what to expect. He went back into the house a second time as one of the all-stars
As a, as
for
a father
the
to
prize.
be.
For the
As a-
that's his hustle. For the prize money. We know how much that prize money is. It's a hustle for him to make that
Don't worry. I have a question for him.
to make that money. That's number one. Number two,
I
here's
got
the funny
this.
thing. And somebody said something in the comment section. His wife is pregnant. And he left for Big Brother. Would it be okay for him to travel for business or do something else and be away from his pregnant wife? Or is it because it's just Big Brother? If it was something else that he had to travel or leave home for, would that justify leaving your pregnant wife?
Gang, I've always thought that you were the shrewdest amongst us, but this is what you just said is stupid.
No, it's not.
Gang, first of all, this is not a business trip. Well, I know this
Big
is
Brother
his
is not a
hustle.
business?
It is his hustle. Get me. Please let me land.
Go.
I know this is his hustle. Yes. But one thing is fundamental. You went to the Big Brother the other time. You were not a father to be. Now you have a different, there's a different, what's it called, surrounding you. You're a father, you're married, you have a wife at home, you're expecting this. Do you know how scarred that son would be if social media is what it is now in the next 20 years or 18 years, 15 even? You that your papa, where you do it, we were the boy, we your papa.
Let me tell you what that's BS.
We all know
if, you're
about it.
if the Frodd wins the money and they're rich in future,
Frodd
the
is
son-
not going to win the
even
money.
if he doesn't
I'm
win,
saying it.
listen,
Frodd is not
my
going to
God.
win
From
the
what
money.
we're saying, we say this as if money doesn't dictate stuff. These are so-called influencers, socialist, celebrity couples that know the lifestyle that they have chosen. That's what I'm saying.
I actually
Frodd has
think-
chosen that Big Brother lifestyle.
If Frodd was going to win the money, maybe my tone would be different. But Frodd is not going to win the money.
Even if he
first of all.
doesn't win, like we said about the other guy that traveled and left his wife, if him and his wife had that conversation and said, I want to go back to the Big Brother Nigeria house,
Okay, gang.
and you know what happens in the
Gang,
house,
I'm coming
are you
home. Sorry.
okay with
Okay.
it?
Gang,
And the wife
gang,
says,
gang,
yeah, go ahead,
gang,
do your
would
thing.
your wife be okay with you doing that? With all the explanation you just gave, gang, be honest.
Listen,
No, gang. Yes or no? Would your wife be?
two answers.
No, gang.
I'm giving you an answer.
Quick.
There are two answers.
Yes or no?
Am I coming home with 100 M?
Are you sure you're coming home with 100 M?
Pause. There's nothing
Probability is
sure in
very
this
low.
life apart from rain and
Hey,
taxes.
look at this guy.
Am I coming home with 100 M?
You are not sure of that.
Listen,
20.
there's some couples
You
that
don't have the capacity. Maybe you do, but Frodd does not have the capacity.
Now, let me break
to come
something
home
down
with
for you.
100
Big
M.
Brother Africa. There was a married man that won Big Brother Africa and won $100,000 US. And his was even worse because he slept with somebody in the house.
Did his wife accept him back?
Do you understand? Well, she didn't divorce him, and she accepted him as a winner when he came home. There's some people that value some of these things more than they value their relationships. If you're going to come home with 100 million naira, all in the name of your children and your wife,
Gang.
some Lagos wives will say, honey, I understand.
Hush, hush, gang. Let's listen to the DSTV
Okay,
guy.
so I know that, while he was introducing himself to the public, he made mention of the fact that there was an agreement between him and the wife.
do
that,
whatever.
He should go into the house. But do whatever, I don't think it was part of the contract. On the first week, Frodd avoided everything contact. In fact, when they were having the pool party, it was somewhere with Sheyi Awolowo, of course, another married
Shout
guy.
out to Sheyi.
Yes, I mean...
We don't
both of
know that
them.
he's married, though. Are you telling us that
He's married.
now?
He's married.
I don't
He's got
know.
a kid.
I don't know. She has been on this show. He didn't
He's
tell us
got a
that too.
kid. So they were on one side, just maintaining their paternity or family life there, and not really mixing up with the other guys. In fact, when they were taking alcohol, they were not taking it because they wanted their
Sanity.
sanity.
But like you said, that's week one.
Somehow the second week, you just
Things started
saw them. Yeah, things started changing.
But that's the aim of the reality show, to break it down for you when you are excluded from certain things in life. That's why they caution people that are in relationships or married before getting into the house.
So the reality is presently, third week, he has lost everything. He has lost the guard around him. And we saw it yesterday during the pool party, that he couldn't even hold it to himself again, and he had to,
give in.
to especially, I think it was Messi. And we all know how Messi is built. That
No. She was engineered, not built.
engineered, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So all these are
We gotta be
these are-
specific here. We gotta,
These are part of the decisions you have to make. If money is your
go.
goal, if you have to go for the money, then at this point, Frodd must make 120 million naira. When he was stepping into the house, the probability of him winning was 1/20.
I got
Somebody's
stats,
gone
man.
out 1/19. Now, what is the possibility that he's still going to win that one?
Do you think he's gonna win?
I don't know. I
No,
don't think so.
This is the black.
I don't think so. I
You don't think so? Talk.
I don't think so.
Femi, you're not talking.
because,
This is very
Because
strange.
the things that Femi would do for 120 million.
No, because all
He goes scatter
because all I'm saying here is that in this life, it's like people will do anything for money. There have to be limits now.
Seemingly.
There has to be limits. There has to be limits. But then again, I'm not judging anyone. Like, if it's okay, I mean, if he had that conversation with the woman and she's like, fine, go. In fact, if he can go to Big Brother while married, I think already they must have had that convo.
Exactly.
I want to believe they must have had that convo. But, man, bro.
Tender line.
What would you do for 120 million?
I'm a hustler, man. I'll do anything legit for money.
Legit. Would you
Anything
be in bed
legit.
with another person? Would you?
$120 million.
Would you strap?
Naira or
No,
dollars.
let me rephrase. If you and your wife had a discussion,
120 million, no be
and,
money
no,
now.
and she
you
agreed,
buy one G-Wagon,
and
you don't
she's-
finish now.
No, if she agreed with you, Femi,
Totally now.
if your wife said, I don't mind you, Femi, being on Big Brother,
Bro, man.
go to Big Brother, do
So
what you
I've
have to
learned that when a woman tells you, I don't mind, she minds. If she says, I don't mind you, she minds. If you go and foolishly,
Fact.
you go collect.
Yes.
Bro, you win that 120 million, you come home, she file you divorce papers, you
Receipts.
split it into two.
Yes,
she has
exactly,
evidence.
yes,
So
yes,
basically, I'm on
yes.
a mercenary, you bill.
do. But half
Exactly.
of 120 is not bad.
Remove taxes. Remove
No
taxes.
tax as well now.
Taxes, then she'll take the house and the kids.
And the kids
Then
are
they'll move to
they're
another
bachelor
country.
again.
They'll move to another country where you have to be visiting them. At the end of the day, it's not worth it. It's not worth it.
We stay in London and tell them we can't come
Listen,
home.
yeah, we got another topic that we have to discuss, but first let's go on a break. This is very fun, man. Jesus boy here is actually he's holding things out. I mean, I'm just very worried about how so invested you are in Big Brother.
No.
You even have stats.
Well, no. I'm just saying. I mean, 20 people got into the house.
Ha.
The probability is 1/20.
It's all good.
No, so but I don't say that guy winning though.
No.
Exactly. So
don't think
why
I
do
really-
you put everything on the line?
But we know, we know that Big Brother is not about the winners.
Like you said, that's his hustle, man.
That's his hustle.
Well, you know,
With these
when-
socialites, they can do anything. That's his hustle. He's in the house doesn't mean that winning means he doesn't win something.
Something, yeah.
He can live with something. He can put himself in a scenario whereby he's making it. You
Right,
get
right.
me? If you look at the likes of the host of the show that didn't even win his own version of Big Brother,
He's making
where
it
he is
well.
today.
He's doing very well.
So
Yeah,
you can
true.
look at that.
True.
I didn't want to say his name, but shout out to you. You know you, bro.
Listen. Let's take a very short break. But before we do, shout out to No Limit Stitches because he's actually doing us good recently. So No Limit Stitches, you guys might want to check him out. That's his name on social media, by the way. He's helping us out with the attires here, well, some of the attires for the Black Table. Let's do a very short break. When we get back, we'll have some more juicy conversation for you guys, and of course your input as well. We'll be right back. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. Our glasses have been refilled and we've gotten our burps out of the way. Thank you for joining us again. We've got more topics here for you guys to remember. At the end of the show, it becomes your show where you guys send in your input about all the topics that we have talked about for today. We've got something very interesting here. It's an input from Kenan Winnie on Twitter. He has this very interesting thing to say. He says, some of you young women are very useless. His words, not mine. He says, your mother-in-law talked to you and you have the guts to talk back at her. He says something in Igbo. Ina puara. he says, she slaps you because you raise your voice at her and you get the mind to slap her back. Well, now vegetable, they marry una. Them no born you well to talk back to my mother when she's talking to you. If there's misunderstanding or something happens, you have no right to talk back at my own mother, let alone slap her back when she slaps you out of anger of you talking back at her. So is the wife, mother-in-law dispute once again. Somebody actually had a very interesting input. Let me search it out. Person says, una mama no they ever stay for her own husband house. Every time she's in your house fighting with your wife. If not be car front seats today, now last meet for pots tomorrow. Today, na slap. So I'm with that last guy. I'm with the guy who actually put that in.
So, let me get this in clear. Mother-in-law is in the house with the wife. They have a conversation. The wife talks back. Mother-in-law slaps wife. Wife slaps
mother-in-law, yeah.
Crazy.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a mess, isn't it?
No, like, I don't know where you're from. I don't want to know where you're from. But if my mother-in-law slaps me, there's nothing I can do. Why would I slap her back? I wouldn't even talk back to my mother-in-law to start with. Like, there are certain lines that you don't cross in life.
Agree.
Because how do you slap your mother-in-law? Like,
The last guy says that, why is your mother-in-law in your house? The Bible says you will leave your...
No, but the problem with Africans is that we are like this. Well, we're like this. Like, we don't live in isolation like white people. But that's no excuse, actually. But how are you slapping your mother-in-law, though?
Not with that, actually. Don't espouse.
That's a lot, man.
There's so many angles that I want to come from on
Too
this.
much, bro. And we know you're good at coming from angles.
Yeah.
We know that.
Sammy knows
We
me
know
well.
that. We know that.
He knows me well.
I did not see that
He knows
coming.
me well. This Femi's on point. Let's give him a...
No,
Femi has-
we know that.
He's on the comeback.
I
scene.
absolutely
know.
hate the honesty on this show.
We know.
Okay, but here's the thing. I'm looking at this man that's being so defensive on his mother while his wife is getting slapped. And then meanwhile, he has children that are looking at their mother getting slapped that might want to be as defensive as he is
Bro, my mom...
on his mother.
So before you go further, there was one day I was in my house. I'm 43 years old. And this was like 2 years ago. I can't remember what was happening, and I said something, and my mom looked at me, she was like, what did you say? I'm like, I know, so if I near her, she go slap me. As in, forget. My kids were there. I passed the other side.
Yeah.
And for that time, I was 41. If she slapped me, nothing won't happen. That's my mother, though.
Yeah.
What do you want to do?
Yeah.
That's my mother. If that was my mother-in-law, there's nothing I would do.
No, but what I'm looking at now is the fact that your wife, who is a mother and will be a mother-in-law as well, is facing some of these challenges, whereby at some point she wants to be defensive of her own kids. Do you understand? You get where I'm coming from? There is, I'm like Femi, it doesn't matter who slaps me, mother-in-law or mother self. I can't retaliate.
Why?
It doesn't even have to be my mother, an elderly person in the family.
Thank you.
I cannot find it in me to retaliate, even if the person is on their, even if I'm on my rights.
Okay.
Do you understand? I can't find it in me
I agree with
to
you.
hit an elderly
I'm
person.
with you guys on that one, but Ty, hear me out here.
Okay.
Why would the gentleman, I don't know if you're gentle, I'm just using the word gentle here, be in such a situation where your wife and your mother are in such a situation, such an instance?
Okay.
I think that if you know who your wife is, if you know who your mother is, you
Fantastic.
already have put in things in
Guards
place.
in place to make
Guards
sure
in
things
place.
like this don't happen.
So that something like this does not happen. So the irresponsibility
Actually lies with
is
the guy.
on that guy.
On the guy, yeah.
I agree with you. There are a lot of things to unpack in this whole scenario. But I think the number one thing that both of you have mentioned is the fact that I came from a background that you dare not disrespect elderly people.
You can't.
No matter how terrible the person is. Now, between the wife and the mother, for a period, something will have gone wrong between both of them.
Exactly.
And
That
the
wasn't
man
the first
is
time.
aware.
That wasn't the first time.
Yeah, that wasn't the first time. That the husband must be aware of that something like this
They had
is
bubbling.
You're talking about an
The
ideal
friction.
situation.
No, they definitely had
This
bubbling
is
on that
an
issues.
ideal situation, but there are some gangster mother-in-laws, there are some monster wives.
No, but
Where,
honestly, I
you know,
don't see a
these
situation
things
where
happen.
first time, no, they had bubbling on that issues. They
There
had
must be
issues that were
some
bubbling on
things,
that.
going on there.
Because how in the world is my mother-in-law? I won't even get into that conversation with her in the first place. If you are saying things I don't like, I will just, okay, 1 minute. 1 minute. And I'm the king of escape.
Okay, so
Eject.
when you say 1 minute, are you going to leave your wife and your mother-in-law?
Bro,
I'm sorry, your mother and your wife.
I'm the king of eject.
No, but that's the thing, yeah? See,
I'll
it's
feed
a
a
very
bond.
sensitive thing.
Bro,
See,
okay,
your
so
mother begot you. You
let me
are
give
your
you-
mother's son.
So let me give
Your
you.
wife is the person that you chose and say, you are my number one.
So let me give
So
you.
it's a very...
And so for me, if I'm going to look at this as a Yoruba man, as a Yoruba man, for the guy's wife to be comfortable enough to talk back to the mom
It's already
or
a red
slap
flag.
her.
Red flags.
Talk back. Don't even
The
get
first,
slapped.
the first red flag is for her to be able to talk back to your mom. The guy had said some things disrespectful about his mom to her. Let's say it as it is.
Thank you.
Because the way you present your mother is the way your wife will see her.
Absolutely.
So if I'm talking down, like, why did my mama they call me for money again? You've already told your wife that it's
You're
okay to
established.
disrespect my mom.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
Because if you don't open those doors, nobody's going to walk through it.
True.
Like, how in the world? My mother-in-law till this day, she says what I don't like. I'll just go, oh, you look like this. Like, you now be talking back. Talk back for, like, to what end? That's your mother now.
And there is a place of being together also. You know, when you have to be together in the same house, in the same area, vicinity, there is that possibility to have
Friction.
yeah, friction. You know, oh, I see you every now and then, so the respect will wear off somehow.
It's called see finish.
So that's the word I was looking for. So
See finish.
you know, I think the responsibility lies on the man to make sure that he's able to draw a perfect line. See, you can talk to me anyhow, but my mom, you dare not do
See,
that.
that's the problem. If you can talk to me anyhow, you talk to my mother anyhow. There's no reason for talking anyhow in the first place. Let's take it off the table.
I agree. I agree
Let's
with
take it
you.
off the table
See,
because-
but you know, the truth is, husband and wife, they always cross that line once
No,
in a
so
while.
the truth about life is, there are no rule books, and we make the rules as we go. But I feel like once we start to notice, okay, this is not error, this is not error, correct it instantly. Because if you don't correct those things, they end up becoming bigger things. How in the world is your mother and your wife, how are they even getting into a shouting match? Let's start from there. Like, how are they getting
At
into
the
a
same
shouting
time,
match?
Exactly.
At the same time, I think this brings out the dynamics where society brings that question up, that for a man, his mother versus his mate. Do you understand? His mother versus his wife. We're not talking about conflict. We're talking about any classic situation that, like biblically, they could say
No,
a
but
man,
the moment
a
I
man
ma-
and a white
No,
woman
but the
become
moment
one.
I marry, I'm separated from my mom.
Yeah,
then.
that's what I'm saying.
And the moment I'm married,
the classic
like,
dilemma.
Exactly.
like your
So in my case-
influence in my life
in my-
is completely
So
different.
forget fights, forget arguments. You have your mother, you have your wife. When the situation presents itself, who's number one? Who is the number one choice?
So
Who
if
is the
your
point
wife
of
and your mom,
preference?
so if your wife and your mom both need a kidney and you can only give one, are you going to give it to your mom?
Why? We don't born you
me.
already.
We don't live life.
Exactly.
That's
Come on now.
another-
You get me?
No, but that's the
is
truth
that
now.
people
That's the
expect
truth.
that as a man who has chosen a mate
Exactly,
will
you
always
chose
side
this person.
with his mate.
You chose this
Will
person.
always side with, and it's not easy for a woman biologically to be like, I raised
You know
him
what we're gonna
and
do?
I'm letting him go.
Gang, we're
So
gonna
it's that
we're gonna
dilemma.
leave this conversation for our viewers. You guys can send in your hashtag, the Black Table on TVC. Tell us what you think. Not just about this topic, but about every other topic. We're expecting your messages. Thank you very much. Let's take a short break. We've got a very important main topic to talk about. We're talking about relationships and the economics of it now. With dollar at 917 naira and fuel, they are saying it might get up to 700 naira. How do relationships exist? What's happening? What are the new dynamics, especially for those of you who are out there dating still random people? When we get back, stay tuned. I don't know if you guys saw Gang in that bro code there. It was his belly featuring Gang.
That was me, man. The stomach money.
I like that. Baba, they
Gang,
own
man.
yo.
Who
own
are
yo.
Belly Chief.
Own yo.
Abs are bulletproof.
All right, let's
Oh,
talk
yo.
about it. Let's talk
Spend
about
time
it.
with your
Let's talk
family,
about it.
not in the gym.
You know.
Spend
You
time
know,
with your family, not in the gym.
Listen,
Don't be looking at shaking things in the
I'm
gym.
telling you.
Best believe, man.
let's leave Gang stomach now. Let's get to our main topic. We're talking about relationships and the economics of it. The naira is 917 naira. If I'm not mistaken, last time I checked, I think I was exchanging for
Are you
1,000 naira
serious?
today.
I had no idea.
Yeah, they told me 1,000 naira flat today.
yeah.
Fuel is what?
That's the dollar now, not even the pound.
That's the
then.
dollar. Yeah. Pounds straight up above 1,000.
Wow.
Fuel is what? 650. I can't remember what's above here.
650 in Lagos.
650 in Lagos.
Yes,
650 in Lagos.
in Lagos.
I'm traveling tomorrow. I'm sure I'm going to be buying at about
Like 700.
700.
Yeah.
Better
across.
hold
When you
800
get
there.
to
Black
Kaba, it's
market,
gonna be-
full place.
Exactly. How are you guys surviving? People that are still dating. People that are still buying human hair for people. Let's talk. What are you guys doing? Have we totally like just ex relationships and gone for, you know, what do they call them? What do they call that street in VI?
Sanusi Fafunwa.
Keep acting like you forgot the street in VI.
I almost used the bad word for the first time in my entire media career on you just now.
Keep acting like you forgot the street in VI.
I used to work there. I wasn't on the corners. I was working on a radio station there.
See this guy.
But how are you guys surviving? We really want to know. What are the economics of relationships now? Are people still asking you to buy human hair? Are they still asking you for data? Please subscribe
Data,
for me.
recharge card.
Recharge card.
Sub for me.
Sub for me. Are they still asking you guys to take them out?
It's urgent 2K, still 2K.
Urgent 2K is still 2K. Or
Now
is it-
urgent 5K.
This is now urgent 5K. Top. What's going on, guys? We really need to know. And in this economy, what would it be like if a girl starts or continues to insist that you provide for them? What's it like? I want to know. I mean, I don't think if I was still in the dating pool, if anybody says, "Hey, Mazino, I beg, I need so and so and so," man, I'll think about it twice. I'll think about it twice. How committed am I to this relationship? Where is it going? What do you do for me? What are the advantages before I'm going to say, okay, fine, send me your account number. What's your AZA? I don't know if you guys are the same, but how are people ever going to get married in this economy? You go first, Oluwafemi.
Went to a wedding last weekend, yeah. In fact, 2 weddings last weekend. And I'm completely convinced that the Lagos on social media and the real Lagos are poles apart.
Totally, man.
Because on social media, Nigeria had fuel cost, dollar cost. That wedding,
They're still doing it.
bro,
They don't know what's going
we
on.
walked into the after party like 11:40 something. Bro, the first thing they did was, okay, so I went with a friend that went with a friend. After party at 11:40 something, the first thing they did was handed us a bottle of Glen 18. And I'm like,
Money still delayed.
now they wait for us. Like everybody was having a nice time. I'm like, I don't think that we're in Nigeria. So in the real sense of the word, I think that when it comes to enjoyment and the things that people value, they still spend money on it. They still spend money on it. One guy still buy human hair today. Today. One guy still did transfer to a vendor for human hair. If Mama go ask her for bread, probably would have said that like 5K.
But
But he said like 300K for human hair today. One guy still took a girl to the cinema today. One guy still paid somebody's rent today in this Lagos. Not Nigeria, let's just localize it, Lagos.
It's not the same thing after you get married to that one girl.
So the reality,
they know
no, but
that.
you never, no, so but even when you get
It's
married,
just
you never
all
stop
initial
spending.
graduate.
No, but when you get married, you never stop spending.
No.
Something happened yesterday night. Like 9 p.m., my wife called and said, "Oh, I'm coming to the store." I'm like, "Why?" She was like, "So we can just go out." She came, we went out, and when we got out of the car, she realized she was holding her wallet. I said, "Why am I holding my wallet? Please open the car, let me drop it." And I looked at her, I was like,
Confidence.
this must feel good. Like, as in,
She?
for
So
like,
that's your wife, though. Our babes. Yeah, you're married. Sorry, but you know these things. Our babes still acting that way.
Oh,
Do they still feel entitled
feel-
with the man they're
feel-
with?
no, but if you're going to take a girl out, you pay now.
well,
You will.
I kind of agree with you to
You
some
will.
extent. See, nobody goes out to spend the money again, to spend everything again. Everybody, see, I was at the filling station to get to fill my jerry can, 25 liters. And before now, I used to fill it for 3, 5, 4,000 thereabouts.
5K,
So I just
5K,
told the guy,
yeah.
fill it up, bro, fill it up.
15 points.
He was already, and I said, how much is
I don't know, when you
25 liters? I said, I did one earlier today, 17,000. I said, stop.
Stop it right now.
I said, stop.
Stop it.
The other put it inside the car, like that. People must learn now how to spend wisely. I mean, it's a gospel truth now, because the truth is, we are no longer buying fuel for 160,000 naira, and it means that the inflation, the ripple effect of that cost is on virtually everything. And so, if I have to be going out, jumping out, and like you said, events and everything, they're enjoying. Some people are still enjoying themselves.
Bro, there's a road that I pass when I'm coming to this show.
This is scanty now.
He knows Kansi.
It's still
knows
full.
Ghana.
It's still full.
I don't know that. I'm like,
It's still
there's
full.
something wrong somewhere.
Yeah.
I guess Nigerians will pay for enjoyment.
Like there's
anyway.
something wrong
Enjoyment.
somewhere.
Let me
Like,
just-
where people finding this money,
let me give my 2 cents.
That's all you got.
Yeah, thank you. And if you look at the exchange rate now, 2 cents is something.
It's a lot.
It's
a lot.
something.
It's a lot.
Nigerians will find a way. 2 weeks ago, after the show here, I decided to go to a couple of clubs on the island. And the amount of people I saw in the clubs and things that people were popping, I was like, you guys can actually afford
this
to
thing?
still come outside
Yep.
and spend this kind of money.
Yep.
Nigerians will always find a way to come outside and spend their money.
So,
the demand is still there. It's crazy. Thank God my wife said something to me during the week.
Notice how when he implicates himself, he always
They will
calls
just-
him white.
yeah, of course.
Well,
that's-
Where-
No,
where-
it's
where
not
did
right.
the club
OG.
She didn't know since so. But now that she has found out, he
So,
went to club.
but
Now
my
pulls his
wife
in.
said something, and she just it was a form of gratuity. She was basically saying we should even be grateful that regardless of what's happening in the country, regardless of the economics,
Yeah.
there's a way that still things are being provided for us.
Yeah.
We're still being able to make things happen. Still have 3 square meals. Still fuel your car.
For a
Still
moment
do
there, I thought you were
things.
gonna say 3
Still
square
go
meals.
out.
So for honestly, I think a part of me at this point believes that everybody's screaming is just bandwagon, because the reality on ground no they match with
It's not
it.
matching
It's
with the
not like
visuals. The visuals are
what are
totally
you people
different,
do?
yeah.
You can't tell me that you people are suffering and you're popping Baba that wedding no more. They give people a zoo. I'm like zoo for
I have a lot of concern
It doesn't
for
make
the
sense.
young
It
people who
doesn't.
don't really have, source of
And they're
income.
trying to keep up with the Joneses.
Exactly. So how do they manage it?
No,
You
so-
you can't go to
So,
places you used to
no-
go before.
I think Nigeria generally, I think the foundation of this country was built wrong. Security guy in the house, salary about 65K. We're having a conversation one day, and
Are
he
you
said
hiring?
that, and he said that, no, and he said that, my daughter just buy iPhone. Bro, whoa. Like,
Your
so
father cannot afford it.
your father's 1 year's salary would not buy a brand new iPhone.
Exactly.
And then, so, for a minute, I'm like, you have a problem with saying that. So he knows that, okay, my daughter
There's
might have
other
had to do
means.
something
Yeah,
shady,
absolutely.
and I'd rather just look away. So I think that's what the entire country is built on. Like, on the surface, we'll all scream, we'll cry, but everybody knows and they sell themselves because I don't
I'll
understand
say
it.
this about Nigerians. We will skim off of anything else, but ensure that our happiness
Happiness, yeah.
Doesn't
is
get-
still
It's
intact.
premium.
It's premium, exactly. Happiness is premium. to
It
us,
must be.
whether you like it or not. Guy, from here to Oshodi is 500. I will check out. Or Friday night,
Gotta pop
we're
that
still
bottle.
out popping.
Because a friend of mine, when we were at that wedding, he said, do you know this wedding now? If they had done this wedding last year, it would have cost them at least 50% less. I'm like,
True.
no be lie. oh.
True.
No be lie. But people are still pulling these things up every week. When are they see money? When are they see money?
Yeah.
But all of us will all complain, country hard, of course. But everybody.
But we're still
publishes-
outside. Look at the streets. Look at traffic.
Yes.
People are still buying fuel.
But the traffic has been beautiful these days.
It has been because you're
I-
a big,
I
see,
wouldn't
you
say
only say that
beautiful. I'll
because
say it
you
hasn't
are
been that
a big
bad.
boy of means. It has been busy for you, and you're appreciating the fact that there's nobody out there. Yeah, the people who are
suffering,
going out
yeah,
for
that's
you
true, that's
to be
true.
out there. Listen, let's take messages from people who have sent them in. Thank you very much, Outlook.com. You're always our #1 texter. Appreciate this fact. All right. He says, "Hey, Mazino, good to see you. Good to see you, and you're looking good. Thank you very much. It's No Limit Stitches, not me. I mean, No Limit Stitches is doing very good. Thank you very much. We're still waiting for Oluwafemi Koto.
Nah, go
He
tired.
says, this happened to my sister live and direct. After 5 years with her thinking that, yes, he calls, he sends money for upkeep with the kids and all. Baba already had another family abroad. She cried every day for 3 months before she was able to pull herself together.
Exactly.
Pull yourself together, girl. First off, I am not in support of anybody who says, okay, go, and I'll come after you. I don't espouse.
I don't even understand how families
I
live
will
apart
not.
though.
I
Like,
can't.
you don't live in. It's bad enough that you walk, then you now live in different countries. Bro, no, that's a lot, man. It's a lot.
It's a tough choice.
Anybody who does that, you guys are trying. I
It's a
mean,
lot.
big time. You guys
It's a
are
lot.
trying.
It's almost like, okay, and I don't want to say it, but let me.
No, but say it.
No, when Zeno says he's not used to somebody saying, go, I'll come after you. It's like his sex life.
Okay.
Well, it took you 35 minutes.
I didn't want to go
It took
there.
you 35 minutes.
I didn't want to go there.
Whatever, man. Ajide says, so Jackpot has made a lot of families separate painfully. Guys abroad are marrying women for papers.
Yep.
Some women know that their men have to marry these women for papers, and they painfully swallow it. The women are subjecting to praying and fasting for luck to shine on them one day. It's really sad. Yes, it's evidence. It's real. It's happening. I think if your man says, honestly, I'm going to hurt a lot of people because I know friends who are in this situation. But if your man says to you, baby, don't worry, let me go.
Oh yeah, so
Can I ask you a question? What about a scenario? What about a scenario whereby the guy sends his family abroad and stays?
I'd rather send my wife, actually.
Okay, so
Actually,
a friend of a friend, wife wanted to go and do masters in the UK. They went, and maybe after like a couple of months, complains, "Oh, daddy, we're not seeing you. Daddy, we're not seeing you." Daddy was doing very well in Lagos, but daddy was like, "Okay, you know what? I can't leave my family out there." He went to go join them. Everything was going on well, but of course, he couldn't really hold down any better job. Wife finished, and then she got a fantastic job. Life was rosy. Then she told him one day, maybe like after 2 years, that I'm not attracted to you anymore. This was a guy that packed up his life in Lagos to go be with his family. So it goes both ways.
what would you do then if that was you
Everybody-
anyway?
If that was me,
See, these things can't happen to Femi.
no,
Let's
but
not-
it cannot be me
They
now,
can't-
bro.
they
It can never be me.
They can't
So
happen.
I always tell people, I can never turn my back to a gun. Never. I was born on the streets. Like, how do you even
Streets
live?
lover.
How do you live that? You know. So when I first said, I'm like, you are moving to the UK to go and be with them. It didn't make any sense to me. And then homeboy was doing menial jobs here and there. Wife became my flying woman. Like, I go office.
I've outgrown you.
Ah.
We got
I think
more.
that reality
We
is
got
mad.
more comments here. At Susan says, I think that what Frodd did is the most irresponsible
I support.
thing
I'm with her.
he can do. The 6 months married man. 6 months. Oh, he's only married. 6 months married man did. Anybody who's been married for 6 months can do it. Even though he said his wife begged him to go, a wife who is due to give birth to your first child, he has no excuse. Your first child. Honestly.
Zero. I'm with her on that one. Like,
No,
I
you
think it
guys
was
calm down. You guys
You
calm
calm
down.
down. And gang, you
Listen
calm
to
down.
me.
No,
Listen
gang,
to me.
put your-
First of all, he's been married 6 months, but his wife just gave birth.
And yes, we know now. I know.
His
know.
wife
We know.
supported him in moving and going to the big because she knows the lifestyle. The last time he was in the
So are you
house, she
saying?
knows.
Wait, are you saying?
It's a
Are you
socialist.
saying the babe in a lifestyle babe?
Yes.
Okay,
It's
then.
like Kanye and Kim. You know
I
what
said
you're
the
getting
baby's
into.
a hustler. I said he's what you categorically say it here on the black table that Fraud of Big Brother currently.
He's fraud.
His-
She's a
his
fraud.
wife.
What's the difference?
Ooh, he gonna
I
So
don't
do it.
understand? So she supports her man.
I know that,
Go
yeah.
and do
Done
what
it,
you
done it.
must. She has supported her man. Go and do what you must. Come back here. We're here,
No, but let's
we're here
not
talking
let-
about them,
so let's
putting
be
them on the
honest,
This
platform.
is gonna hit social
No,
media.
but let's be
This
honest.
is-
I think that's what it is. Let's
That's
be
what it
honest. I
is.
think
They're
that's
both
what it is.
they're both hustlers.
So people
No,
are
like,
feeling
for-
bad for her. She knows
She
what
knows
she's
what
doing.
she signed up for. She knows what she signed up
She
for.
knows.
I just think when you factor in the child, I mean, think
But
about
she's
the
not
life.
thinking about the child. She
That-
knows what
that's where
lifestyle.
responsibility
Selfish.
comes in.
No, but she's thinking about lifestyle. She's not concerned about that. Like, so a lot of times we're always worried about things that other people are not even seeing. The girl just wants the.
But you know,
Lost
interestingly,
life.
she's, I think she's a pharmacist or something. Is good. She's good.
Yeah, she is a pharmacist.
But
Yeah.
she's good. But like, so
But how good?
I think people don't understand how intoxicating
Gang,
fame
not
can
that
be.
good.
Oh.
Not
It
that
can't
kind
be
of
that
good. Not
good.
that kind of good.
But like
No,
you
no,
said,
not good. Like
Not
good
that
and
kind
good.
but you
of
said
good.
the intoxication of the fame,
Fame is
the mentions,
intoxicating.
the
No,
social
it
media.
is
She
intoxicating.
expects fraud is in
Hey,
the house. He expects to get traction.
Hey, Femi, you got fan mail. Says, hey, Mazino, this is from at Fumi. Mark that name down.
Ah,
sorry,
that-
sorry, Mrs. Oluwafemi.
For me, wait
Says-
happen.
I love Oluwafemi's voice. Kai, that's all I want to say. That's all.
That's what she wanted to
said.
say.
Married
No,
man, married
is
man,
Fumi a
married man.
unisex name?
No, now woman
It
name.
might be a man.
Now woman name. Now woman name. God, I beg you.
Our last message before we say goodbye tonight. At Henry says, Mazino, this mother-in-law thing, I am my mother's only son. My mother insisted that she wanted to move into my house 2 months after my wedding. I told her no instantly. that she should she should stay in her own house. That I was gonna make sure she was more than comfortable than a queen. But in my new marriage, new marriage, only marriage. She says, stay forever. No, you can't do that. Never. Oh. I know my mother. Imagine my mother and her tantrums in my house with my wife, who is short-fused. Man, know thyself, know thy mother, know thy wife.
And be able to control your home.
No, so basically, I always tell people, like, my mom, I know my mother. So if she's complaining about someone or something, I'm like, really? That person must be mad. But I'm never going to take action against anything she says because I know my mom. Like, I know the kind of person she is. She's very short-fused.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
So if for any
all
reason...
Nigerian mothers. Is your mother short?
No, my mother...
not really.
My mother is...
She used to be.
So if my mom tells me, your sister did blah, 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 I'm not going to call my sister and go, why did you? Nah, I'm not going to be like, can you imagine what mommy said? Because I know it'll be a different conversation on that side. Yeah. If you know the people that are around you, it's very easy to manage this thing.
Why I said in that instance, it was on the guy.
It was on the guy.
It's always on the guy. Yeah, like this is the scenario you're facing. Me, I can just simply tell one of my siblings, guess what mom she said? Him like, I'm sure she said this and this. You know your parents that well.
Exactly. You know your mother.
You know them that well. So it's not...
So for it always, for me, I'm always like, when people say this, I'm like, look, you know your mother. One day, I was having a conversation with my mom and she said something. And I looked at her and I'm like, I'm gonna be honest with you. Daddy tried though. So like, what do you mean? I'm like, because if not me, I could not divorce you. I told her straight up, and she looked at me and she was like, the next day she woke me up, why would you say that kind of thing to me? I'm like, because it's the honest truth. I love you, you're my mom, but sometimes they choke me. They choke me.
Listen, guys, it's almost Saturday morning, and I forgot to intimate Tayo with what our culture is here. We have this thing we call just the tip. I know you're a church boy. So
don't go in inside. Don't go in completely.
No, we're going to keep it like that. Just
don't go in completely.
Roundabout advice. Everything we've talked about.
The reason why they don't let gang do it anymore is because he doesn't know where to stop.
They've seen the size. When the tip goes, they know.
Hey, listen, I'm just going to keep it plain and simple. Please. You give an advice to everybody. Tell us what you think about everything. Give an advice. So we round up the show. And it's on you today, please.
Okay, so your family is vital to you. You have to be conscious of everything going around it. You have to be able to build a wall around your family and protect them from external influences. Because it's very, very important for you to maintain the sanity of your home, even against your parents, sometimes.
Where's the paper you're reading this from? Where?
No, wisdom. Wisdom.
No, is this it? What you...
Honestly, no, wisdom. Because, as in, like, that thing is packed, oh.
Yeah.
No, wisdom.
That's packed.
Nice.
And that's because he's only drinking soda.
Oh my God.
You might not know this, but that glass is only soda.
At least we lasted 55 minutes without anybody knowing.
No.
Yeah, without anybody knowing that that's just soda.
But Tayo, thank you very much, man.
No, but you guys don't saved it from...
See Femi's glass empty, and this was straight liquor.
No, you saved it from backlash. You can't go black table, you go the drink. Which kind of person you be? Bro. Tayo.
Thank you, Tayo. Thank you, Femi. Thank you, gang, the Pop Belly Chief. Listen, thank you, everybody who's joined us tonight. Again, thank you for always tuning in at 11 o'clock every Friday night. At about this time, it's only 3 minutes away from Saturday morning. I want to say thank you. Use the hashtag, even after the show, the Black Table on TVC. Get up on YouTube where we will have this up on there. You can see the show as many times as you want or even share it with everybody else. Next week, we get to do it again. Hopefully this time the liquor is going to be harder. Our honesty is even going to be purer, especially this guy right here. Until then, it's good night, or is it good morning?